They silenced her. These are the words of the older brother of Shireen Abu Akleh. He and his daughter Lena stood before the International Criminal Court on Tuesday with Shireen's photo pinned to their lapels. Anton Abu Akleh explained how his sister, a veteran Palestinian-American journalist, devoted her life to reporting on the abuses endured by Palestinians at the hands of Israeli forces. That is, until Shireen Abu Akleh found herself on the other side of the story. Shireen Abu Akleh, a journalist for Al Jazeera, was covering an Israeli raid on a Palestinian refugee camp in the West Bank back in May. Shots rang out. She was struck in the head. She died of her injuries. Abu Akleh was wearing a protective helmet and a vest clearly marked press. Eyewitnesses, including fellow journalists, say she was shot by an Israeli soldier. Now, at first, the Israeli government denied the allegation, initially blaming a Palestinian gunman. But then Israel shifted its narrative. Months later, the Israeli military concluded that there is a, quote, high possibility, end quote, that Abu Akleh was, quote, accidentally hit, end quote, by Israeli fire. Israel maintains that her death was unintentional. It says it will not hold the soldier who shot Abu Akleh to account. But Al Jazeera and the family of Abu Akleh say evidence shows the shooting was not accidental. When Abu Akleh was first killed, the American government appeared eager to help find accountability for her death. In May, the State Department spokesperson Ned Price said, quote, those responsible for Shireen's killing should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. But that was then, and this is now, and apparently the fullest extent of the law stops at international law. Now that Abu Akleh's killing has been brought to the International Criminal Court, the United States appears to be scaling back its loud calls for accountability. On Tuesday, Al Jazeera submitted a case against Israeli forces at the ICC. Al Jazeera's legal team conducted a 6-month investigation and said it unearthed new evidence into her killing. Al Jazeera said in a statement, quote, the new witness evidence and video footage clearly show that Shireen and her colleagues were directly fired at by the Israeli occupation forces. The claim by the Israeli authorities that Shireen was killed by mistake in an exchange of fire is completely unfounded, end quote. Abu Akleh's family submitted its own complaint to the ICC in September, but they say they've seen no meaningful action from the court, and it's unlikely they will see meaningful action at all. You see, Israel doesn't recognize the ICC's authority. It refuses to cooperate with any ICC investigation into possible war crimes in the occupied territories. The outgoing Israeli Prime Minister Yair Lapid made it pretty clear in a statement saying, quote, no one will investigate Israeli soldiers and no one will preach to us about morals in warfare, certainly not Al Jazeera. The U.S. has also taken the position that the International Criminal Court is no place for Israeli-Palestinian issues.
When it comes to the ICC, we maintain our longstanding objections to the ICC's investigation into the Palestinian situation and the position the ICC should focus on its core mission, and that core mission of serving as a court of last resort in punishing and deterring atrocity crimes.
It is worth reiterating, Shireen Abu Akleh was an American citizen. Last month, Israeli officials said the FBI had opened an investigation into Abu Akleh's killing, but according to Al Jazeera, quote, the U.S. Justice Department has not confirmed the Israeli accounts, and the State Department distanced itself from the possible investigation, saying that the move would be outside of its purview, end quote. So putting aside the fact that a journalist was killed by the forces of a government, if it's not the job of the FBI to investigate the killing of an American citizen, and Israel refuses to investigate, and it's not a case for the International Criminal Court either, how will Shireen Abu Akleh ever get justice? How can accountability possibly be reached? Since the election of Joe Biden, the United States has been a better ally to the Palestinians. Progress has certainly been made. But it seems like every time things get a little too messy and America's shiny relationship with Israel risks being tarnished, and farther, America backs down. Shireen Abu Akleh was an American. Shireen Abu Akleh was a journalist, and in the greatest tradition of her profession, placed herself on the ground in the line of fire to get the story. She was bearing witness. She never got to do the second part of her mission as a journalist, holding power to account. Now it's time for the world and America to finish that job.